He's got the fewest reps in camp, and he's got a sore arm. Why? Well, people say he throws a lot before practice and after practice. Well, how counterproductive is that?
I'm sure there's a method to the madness.
Obviously, it was counterproductive because he's got a sore arm.
Okay, so you're using that as a negative against the kid?
I don't understand.
Jesus, God, would you give him a chance?
Well,
my God,
here's the
because his
thing.
arm's sore?
Yeah.
What, that's a negative, that the kid's got a sore arm?
Yes.
Because he's working too hard? The hell out of here.
Working against who?
Get out of here. You got an agenda with that. You're going to, you know what,
Riz.
Tone? That's going to bite you.
Toni Grossi, who has constantly been firing shots at Shedeur Sanders, has now stooped to a new low with his latest take. This time, he's mocking Shedeur for his arm soreness, claiming that Sanders managed to get it after fewer reps than any other quarterback on the roster. It's a bold move by Grossi, and once again he's pushing a narrative that's far from flattering for the young quarterback. But is it really fair to criticize someone for something as common as arm soreness? Let's break down this latest jab and see where Grossi is coming from.
There's a method to the madness.
What is it?
He's trying to get his arm
warming
right,
up.
Tone. I'm sure he's probably practiced more now than he has at any point in his
Well, it
collegiate
obviously
career.
was counterproductive because he's got a sore arm.
Toni Rizzo, famously known as Riz, wasted no time in rebutting Grossi's comments. He made it clear that mocking Shedeur for arm soreness was completely out of line. Riz pointed out that the soreness isn't something to slander or make fun of. It's a sign of hard work. He emphasized that this is the first time Shedeur Sanders is pushing his body through such intense training, and it's only natural to experience some soreness. It's a part of the process, and Riz made sure to highlight that it's not something to be ashamed of. And Riz is right, because even coach Kevin Stefanski backed up those statements. Stefanski made it clear that Shedeur has been working at the highest level possible. He highlighted that before the session even started, Shedeur was putting in the effort to make sure he was ready for everything the team threw his way. The hard work and dedication are there, and it's paying off in ways that go beyond just physical soreness. Stefanski's words were a strong reminder that this kind of commitment is exactly what it takes to reach the next level, no matter the challenges.
You know, where they're getting reps and those type of things. He's working extremely hard, like all those guys are. We're still not yet through the installation schedule. We're still just introducing 2-minute yesterday. We'll introduce some different distances today, situationally, so I wouldn't really think much past that.
Riz didn't hold back in calling out Grossi for his ongoing negative agenda against Shedeur Sanders. He declared that Grossi was using this arm soreness issue as just another attack on Shedeur's character. Riz, clearly fed up, fired back, "Get the hell out of here! You're using this agenda against him." It was a bold statement, and it showed just how strongly Riz feels about the unfair treatment Shedeur has been receiving. He wasn't about to let Grossi continue spreading negativity without standing up for his teammate. It's clear Riz has had enough of the slander, and honestly, this is where Riz's frustration has some truth. Toni Grossi has been at it for a while now, consistently trying to find faults and paint Shedeur Sanders in a negative light. Even when the training sessions began and Shedeur was putting up impressive numbers, Grossi still found ways to nitpick every small shortcoming and highlight them as if Shedeur was failing. It's almost as if Grossi has been waiting for any opportunity to tear him down, no matter how well Shedeur performs. This kind of constant scrutiny has been a recurring pattern, and it's hard not to notice.
I guess so, if they think so. I know what I saw. That's why I charted numbers. I had numbers to prove it. He was 3 of 8 in his second set of 7-on-7.
Who was 3 of 8?
Shedeur.
Okay.
The other guy was 6 of 8. Okay. Slightly better.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a period where the ball is not supposed to hit the ground unless a defender wraps around.
But they are rookies.
Toni Grossi has never been one to admit that Shedeur Sanders is better than Dillon Gabriel, and it's clear he was never going to give him a fair chance. He's been steadfast in his criticism, refusing to acknowledge Shedeur's potential. In fact, when the idea of the Browns giving Shedeur a chance was brought up, Grossi laughed it off as if it was a joke. His dismissive attitude towards Shedeur's abilities only highlights how deep this bias runs. No matter how much Shedeur proves himself, Grossi seems determined to downplay his talents and shut down any chance he gets. Grossi has been insisting on the idea that Shedeur Sanders isn't ready for the first team right away, claiming that it will take him at least 4 years to fully develop. He's repeatedly said that Dillon Gabriel, on the other hand, will be ready to step in and perform at a high level much sooner than Shedeur ever will. Grossi's narrative has been that Shedeur needs significant time to catch up, while Dillon is the more polished, ready-to-go option. This continued comparison and skepticism about Shedeur's readiness have only fueled the ongoing tension between Grossi and Sanders.
It's a 4-year plan, not a 4-week plan, heading into the opening of this season. I don't think they feel the urgency to rush either of those guys in. They want to develop them over time. And one may develop quicker than the other. They probably think it'll be Gabriel.
Toni Grossi has always been running a clear agenda against Shedeur Sanders. But what's even more telling is his silence when it comes to Jimmy Haslam. When Haslam tried to brush Shedeur off, claiming that he didn't see any reason why the Browns were being seen as the bad guys, Grossi said nothing. He didn't speak up about the way Shedeur was being dismissed. Haslam even went as far as to say that the Browns drafted Shedeur because they thought he was better than a 5th-round pick. Yet Grossi remained quiet. It's hard not to question the inconsistency in his stance here. Despite all the criticism he aimed at Shedeur, Toni Grossi kept on praising Dillon Gabriel. He went as far as declaring that the Browns didn't even need Shedeur Sanders in the mix, claiming that by drafting him, they had only complicated their situation. Grossi didn't understand why people were saying Shedeur was being treated badly. He refused to accept that there was any mistreatment, insisting that the Browns made a logical decision based on their evaluation. His dismissal of Shedeur's challenges and his constant support for Dillon only added fuel to the fire of the ongoing debate.
What do you say when you hear that narrative that the Browns are
Mistreating him.
Yes, yes.
I shake my head. I don't understand it at all. They complicated their own situation by drafting him when they did.
And yet, they're doubling down on Gabriel.
I can't imagine there's many people that think Dillon Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. And if the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
They've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dillon Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
In the end, the ongoing saga between Toni Grossi, the Browns, and Shedeur Sanders is shaping up to be a battle of narratives. Grossi's consistent attacks on Shedeur, whether it's mocking his arm soreness or refusing to acknowledge his potential, have only fueled the division. He's pushed a narrative that Shedeur isn't ready and that Dillon Gabriel is the clear future quarterback, even though the on-field performance tells a different story. It's become more and more apparent that Grossi is not just providing analysis, but is actively running an agenda against Shedeur. On the other hand, voices like Tony Rizzo and Coach Kevin Stefanski have highlighted the hard work and dedication that Shedeur has shown. They've defended him against baseless mockery, pointing out that soreness is a normal part of pushing one's limits in training. Meanwhile, Grossi's silence on issues like Jimmy Haslam's dismissive remarks about Shedeur raises questions about his bias and selective outrage. Despite all the noise, the consensus remains that Shedeur Sanders is on a different level than Dillon Gabriel right now. The Browns and Grossi can push their narrative all they want, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore the clear difference in performance between the two quarterbacks. What do you think? Is Toni Grossi's criticism of Shedeur Sanders justified, or is he pushing an agenda? Do you agree that Shedeur isn't ready for the first team, or is he being unfairly overlooked for Dillon Gabriel? Is the arm soreness being overblown, or a sign of hard work? And do you believe the Browns are making the right call with Gabriel as their future QB, or does Shedeur deserve more of a chance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.